It's pretty wild to get 2 Juggernaut albums 2 weeks in a row.
At this rate, I'm going to be overwhelmed.
Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour. I'm joined as always by my tired co-host Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. It's usually a whole discography per episode, except for these EAE singles episodes where we discuss one brand new album at a time. And today we'll be discussing
the brand new album from Chelsea Wolfe entitled She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She.
I hate this name of this album, but
I love this album.
But you love this album.
I said it in the Idols episode. It's fucking February. This is crazy.
It is crazy. This album is real good. It's real good. And it's a little weird for me because I've only heard one of the Chelsea Wolfe album in its entirety.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Which one was it?
That was shit.
It was shit.
The yellow one. That's really good.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of like where she got her shine on.
Yeah.
Like where people started paying attention.
I suck because I forgot the name of it. And I literally, I adore that album. And I've listened to it countless times. And some of those songs.
It's Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That one, right?
Apocalypse, yeah. And songs on that album are like forever songs for me, like forever songs.
I heard Myrrh for the first time when that like was coming out, and my mind was so blown. I'm mixing up words. My mind was like so blown by what do you label this type of music?
Yeah. It's real interesting. It's real interesting, and she has a really cool vocal approach, especially on that album. But we're not talking about that album.
No, but just kind of
it's
history.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's weird because like usually if it's like interesting, there could be a level of like, oh, it's not really accessible, but like you can show a lot of her songs to normal people.
Definitely. There's always been a weird kind of tangible nature to Chelsea, even though she's pretty experimental. And this album was gifted to us. We got a review copy from our boy Tom Osman. You should all go check out and follow. Yeah, this came out a week ago on February 9th. And it's pretty wild to get 2 Juggernaut albums 2 weeks in a row.
I've just been blessed. And then like these two, and then Satya Sena,
hell yeah, check out that episode.
And like Bronson Arm rules too.
Yep.
But like I'm just like I have like three
album contenders.
Yeah.
And we're in the second. It's been, last year we ended our year-end episode with we know 2024 is probably not going to come close to 2023, but at least give us a few. I'm sure just give us what you got, and it's coming out stronger.
At this fucking rate, I'm going to be overwhelmed.
Indeed. So this is only my second Chelsea Wolfe album, so it's hard for me. I can't really compare it one-to-one with other stuff. It's a little tricky for me.
She's very good at pivoting and changing. I would say like Abyss and Hispin, or like more metal and dark, especially Hispin. And then like Birth of Violence is this like total 180 from all that. She just went like acoustic songs. Mm-hmm. And then she did an album we like here, Blood Moon with Converge, and
great album.
And then she did the score for that movie X. I didn't like the movie, but like
she also did Mrs. Piss.
Oh yeah, that band too. But like the score for X, I was like sitting in the theater. I was like, this sounds like Chelsea Wolfe. And then I was right. It was Chelsea Wolfe.
Yeah, there she is.
So like she's had this like great like metamorphosis and change. Well, very similar to Idols, like still remaining like keeping her essence no matter how different the albums sound.
That's the only thing I can kind of latch onto, not having heard so many, is even though this is such a different album than the other one I've heard, the essence, the essence is still there. This one is I mean, I would say wildly more industrial, big, giant electronic sections, heavy.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect this because, like, the last one was like well, not counting the Blood Moon, but like her last proper solo one, I was like, that's acoustic. So I don't know. I wasn't expecting this to kind of be a trip hop album. I feel like it has.
Oh yeah, there's moments.
It's still dark and heavy, but I think it has more in common with like Massive Attack's Mezzanine than like Metal. Like there's not really a lot of guitar. It's still there.
It's still there, but it's very minimal. Dude, the song The Liminal, the vocals straight up remind me of Portishead with like how close they feel and how close they sound. And not to mention the super trip hop drums on that song.
Yeah, there's just so much that makes me think of trip hop. And then she worked with producer David Sick of TV on the Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then mixed by Sean Everett, who's worked with Slow Dive, SZA, The Killers, and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Yeah.
And I think like working with those guys on here was like really smart, especially because like SZA has this song called Babylon that's really dark and gave me like I was like, is this what SZA sounds like? And she doesn't.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I want her to like make an album like that. And like, I shit you not, you could put that song on Babylon with one of these songs and they feel like very similar.
Yeah, interesting.
So I thought that working with that Sean Everett was like an interesting.
Mm-hmm. So there's a good amount of range on this record. Opening with Whispers in the Echo Chamber is, I mean, that's
Jesus Christ.
I fucking love this song. It's how do you describe this shit? I mean, let's try, I guess.
It's like grimy, electronic. It's still dark and heavy. I love. I've never really done a deep dive on her lyrics, but I love the imagery on this album.
Mm-hmm.
There's these, entering these dark voids, and it's almost like mythical and occult like, but it's very like rooted in like real things and healing and her becoming sober. But yeah, so it's like this dark world, and she's always had this thing where if you just isolated her vocals, you could turn it into a pop song probably.
Mm-hmm.
But this is still rooted in dark stuff. This is probably like as punishing as like the heaviest song on here.
Yeah. It's pretty punishing, and it's a nice blend with her really hushed vocals against these giant distorted industrial sections. But in the bigger, louder sections, they seem to bend. There's they literally bend, but it's like the whole song is bending. It's very fucking cool. It's a very cool effect.
And yeah, I think that's, I love when like the music kind of like, it's just so perfect with the guitars. And I think this idea of like bending and transforming into these like alternate dimensions or these voids, it's just, it's perfect.
The thing things that come to mind are like the movie Annihilation. That's what like I think.
Yes.
Of. Yeah.
Yes.
Does channel a lot of that really otherworldly kind of stuff. The follow-up track, House of Self and Doing, brings up a lot of the energy. The drums on there really remind me like fucking Prodigy or something.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting these like upbeat, high energy songs, and she always like has her like signature, like cool, subdued, like even like I noticed in the press release they call them like ASMR vocals.
Yeah. I don't love the main riff of House of Self and Doing so much. I like how they execute it, or how she executes it. But around 3 minutes in, this incredible section comes in with a fucking awesome vocal layers. It really kind of turns the song into something else completely. The great outro as well.
Yeah, I was sitting there reading the lyrics thinking it's like some sort of like mythical war with pacts being made with like interdimensional demons.
Oh, fun, easy.
Only to find out this is like her song. This like specifically this song is about like sobriety, but she did say sobriety takes on many forms, and like her metaphor game is strong.
Indeed. Super satisfying bass texture on Everything Turns Blue.
Oh fuck.
Very cool sound.
Dude, yeah, that is like when I started noticing the like trip hop vibes on it. It could be viewed as like dreamy, ethereal, but it like turns into a song about like loss and heartbreak and questioning what was even real to begin with. And there's like this piano. I wasn't expecting this album to have like piano parts.
Really?
That like you technically don't need them, but I don't want to hear the songs without them.
I felt they fit right in.
Yeah.
For that one, around 3 minutes in, it's just really kind of really lengthy, ethereal, atmospheric section. It's so well executed in that little chunk right there, because we've heard hundreds and hundreds of albums on this podcast, and we've heard plenty of atmospheric breaks and songs, but just something about that one, it's so well mixed and so well executed. Even though nothing is happening technically, it still feels very much song-like. It feels very much a part of the song.
I would like to highlight the lyric, what do I have to do to heal you out of me?
That's good. That's good. That's some good phrasing right there.
Can't relate to that. You've never loved.
Indeed. Tunnel Lights. A lot of the choices on the quiet sections are super interesting on that one.
Yeah, like that song is, dare I say, it's like dark R&B music. Like
that's interesting.
there is like an R&B quality to it, but it's like rooted in dark. You could almost argue that, well, that's what like trip hop is. There's these dark fuzzy electronics. The drums get like more primal as it goes on. It's definitely a song I think Elizabeth Fraser and Beth Gibbons would be like they'd be proud of.
I'd be interested to hear that, because as much as I enjoy it, the vast majority, it's the only song I don't care for very much is the closer Dusk. I think it's a fairly weak closer.
I love it. I love Dusk.
Really? Why?
I don't know if it's her a like vocal effect thing or like some electronic thing, but it's just so fucking cool and haunting. Like the album, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think the section you're talking about, it sounds like like almost like a vocoder. Like, it's not like robot vocals, but it's a voice affected by, she's singing it, but it's heavily affected.
That little part just gets stuck in my head, and it I don't want to say it fucks me up, but like makes me feel a certain way.
Interesting. It is pretty. It's just, I found it to be the least memorable out of everything here. There's like problems I have with this, but it's like, they're quite nitpicky because it is a really fucking good album. The nitpickiness is one, I just wish she did more things vocally. She just pretty much does what she does, and she's kind of always done what she does.
Yeah, she has her thing.
Yeah, and it's not fair. It's not fair to compare it to a thing like Idols, but we listen to them like back to back, and hearing one person do so many different things with just one voice, it makes me like, you're a great singer. Why don't you do that as well? It just leaves me like, she sounds great, but I feel like there could have been, especially with the range in what the songs are doing, because they go fucking all over the place. I just would like to have heard more of that with her voice as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think her voice is so unique, and maybe there's like more singers now doing the like subdued, cool, like ASMR thing. But
I've heard a lot. Yeah.
But like at the like when I heard her, I was like, who else is doing this?
The weird thing, the only because I mean I don't find the what she's doing that interesting or unique. What I find unique is one little thing that she does as a singer. It's one little thing. She uses the E vowel sound in most vowels. So every vowel has a little bit of E in it. And that's kind of how I know it's Chelsea. And it's like a very subtle thing. It's just a style. It's a very simple, subtle thing that's unique to her or that she chooses to do or whatever. And that's basically the only thing that I can kind of grab onto is like, that's a uniquely Chelsea thing. Everything else, it just feel like it's just a soft hush texture over these. I don't even know. These songs have a wide array, but like sometimes brutal songs.
Yeah. It's definitely not her heaviest. I think if people wanted like an extension of Abyss or Hiss, this is not it. There's peppering of guitar here and there, but this is not her like coming to like feel that like metal void. I don't think she's someone who's gonna be repeating herself a lot.
No, it doesn't seem like it, not at all. Other really interesting stuff like the busy electronic percussion on Eyes Like Nightshade.
Man, yeah.
Very cool and really complex instrumentation all over that one.
And then there's like a melodica on there too. And
is there? I usually hate that instrument.
Dude, it works so good. And even like on Eyes Like Nightshade and I think Salt, they have like these like jingly like chime things on both songs. And it just adds to the vibes and the texture so well.
There's a section around 2:15 of Eyes Like Nightshade that's absolutely gorgeous with these really cool samples. And it has like, I found her vocals to be actually kind of distracting because they're so ASMR and gentle and hush over this really interesting backdrop. But I liked it a lot more in second listen. For Salt, there's I don't even know how they make it's a really cool choice of bass texture on that track. And weirdly enough, I think she actually kind of sounds like fucking Tom York on there. Like the choices rather are very Tom Yorky.
Yeah, that was one where I was like, made me think of Massive Attack's Mezzanine. I like how Salt starts off like minimal and then it turns into like, because Mezzanine's a very like dark album, but like it's like the stuff of their nightmares. Like this is like the nightmare child of Mezzanine.
One of my favorites, one of my two favorites on here is Unseen World. I mean, it rules. I mean, it's so damn good.
And yeah, like the drumming has this almost like world drumming to it that I wasn't expecting. I love the strings when they come in. It helps you feel like you're being like transported to that unseen world when the strings hit.
It's such a big and powerful. I mean, the big sections are such wonderful fucking melodies. They're just incredibly well done, and the percussion on there is super distinct, and the song kind of revolves around that. Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. It's so fucking good. The Place in the Sun has this extremely dirgy piano driven intro. Really morose.
Yeah, I do like that the bulk of the album is, trials and tribulations and transformation, but that one, because there's also, she talks about like healing. And so that one actually feels like peace and acceptance and being mindful. And yeah, we've talked about a few albums on the pod about loving yourself and healing yourself, and they usually hit hard with me, and this is no different.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Yeah, that one is definitely the most dramatic thing on there, musically and thematically. But it's beautiful, and then there's like a bunch of electronic elements in the outro that are super fucking interesting. The most interesting part of the song for me. And even though I don't care for Dusk, it's a sweet closer. It's very nice, but
I think those vocals are going to get you one day.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think they might get you one day.
The stuff I found the most engaging is just the weirder, craziest of like the opener, where it's just, I don't know. There's something very alien about it.
There is, like you said, like the Annihilation soundtrack. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I like how that is like reflected in the lyrics of going into these voids, and maybe it's not like quite the world we're used to. It's like a weird reflection. Yeah,
and there's also certain melodies that are hard to pinpoint, but they just have this reverberating feeling, like internal lights. I actually don't even like the big industrial sections very much, but the quieter sections have this melodic feel that's weirdly nostalgic. I don't know nostalgic of what, but it has this really vague, odd, old sense about it. It's really interesting, and like, it's just like the production is so, what's the word? Engaged. It's like so much of these songs is the production. Like, I actually, for that one, for Eternal Lights anyway, I like the production more than the song itself. I think like the choices actually make you feel the choices more than like the writing. And if I have any criticism, it's probably that about the whole album. Like, it's hard to even feel the writing because the production is such the thing that's taking up all of your real estate, your mental real estate. It is a very interesting album. Like, this could be kind of taken apart and dissected any which way.
Yeah, I really thought it was like cool on like a few listens to like sit down with those lyrics and just like it's such a whole, like, for me, like every piece is important, and it just paints this like dark but like cathartic picture for me. And
it is well done. It is a good ass album, and I feel kind of fucking stupid just having not heard so many other albums.
It's so crazy because she's much like Idols, like feels like a new artist, but you know, she's been around for she's been doing it, and what like a crazy interesting discography she's already like carved out for herself.
Very, it's clearly very diverse. I mean, even with the side projects alone, I mean, that's pretty fucking wild. But it's definitely worth a shot. Several of these things, I couldn't call this accessible. It's not inaccessible, but I would say it's accessible if you're open to this kind of thing.
If like,
I guess
if like goth music is like your thing, or you've been like drawn to those darker elements of trip hop, or if you just like
even if you have a passing interest in Nine Inch Nails, it's not that it sounds like Nine Inch Nails, but at least
or if you're like a cool fan of hers and you're just here for the journey no matter what, like it's it's fucking great.
Solid ass stuff, dog. Hell yeah. But might as well wrap it there. So thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. Check out the album. It's out now. You could also hang out with us and subscribe to our channel and talk some shit in the comments and be cool. You can follow me on all social media at PandaMonkey, and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
And don't forget to follow our history guy, Tom Osman, at Tom Osman Sounds, and all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music, and TomOsman.substack.com for his podcast, where he interviews musicians, as well as all his writings on music and all kinds of stuff. It's very cool. Check out my EP, Powder Monkey. Link to that in the description. Hell yes. And last but not least, Patreon, baby. Patreon.com/every album ever. That's where did I plug Patreon in the last episode? Who cares? Patreon.com/every album ever. That's where you go. You get bonus episodes. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we cover next. You get to join our Discord and be a part of our community, as well as suggest episodes for these EAE singles episodes. So if an album came out this year, you want to hear us talk about it, send it there. And if you're tier 2, you can suggest a full discography for us to cover on our bigger, longer numbered episodes, as well as any album from any discography for us to cover on a Patreon bonus episode. So go there, do that. Hell yeah. Now, closing track. Well,
this is, for me, a Sophie's choice. I want Mike to love Dusk, but Whispers in the Echo Chamber is going to be one of the greatest songs of 2024. So
hell
let's
yeah.
go there.
Let's do it. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.